everyone, it's Jacqueline for Pixie Dust PhD. Hotels at Walt Disney World fall into 4 categories. Today we'll go over the basics of those hotel types. Walt Disney World has 4 categories of hotels. These are value, moderate, deluxe, and villas. These scale up in price as well as perceived fanciness. All of these hotels are on-property hotel types, so you get all of the benefits regardless of which category you're staying at. Some of these benefits include your 60-day FastPass Plus booking window, your 180-day advanced dining reservation booking window with the first 10 days of your trip. You get free transportation, you get access to extra magic hours, you can use the Magical Express bus, etc. And all of these hotels are Walt Disney World owned and operated hotels, so they do have that Disney magic, just in different ways. Let's start with values. Value resorts are going to typically be the least expensive of your 4 categories. There's going to be one very large themed pool, although there will be no water slide at this pool. Your hotel room door will open to an outside corridor. The food options at value resorts are a food court, and if you're the type of person who likes to unpack, note that there aren't typical closets in value resorts. There's a rod to hang your clothes as well as some shelves to place your things on. A standard room at most value resorts is either going to be 1 king bed or 2 double beds. Now, the value resorts are undergoing refurbishment to change all of the rooms with 2 double beds into rooms with 2 queen beds. Currently, only Pop Century has completed this refurbishment, so if you definitely want 2 queen beds, you're going to want to book Pop Century. Value resorts tend to be quite large and can be a bit spread out, so depending on your room assignment, it might be quite a far walk to the central locations like the food court or the pool or your bus stop. Note that you can pay an upgrade for a preferred room to be much closer to these central locations. For transportation, most value resorts rely primarily on buses. There is only 1 bus stop per resort, which is nice, unlike in the moderate category. Art of Animation and Pop Century do share a Disney Skyliner station, so other than buses, you can also use the Skyliner from these 2 resorts to get to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. If you're bringing a car, parking at value resorts is currently $15 per night. On average, value resorts are the smallest rooms, about 260 square feet. Art of Animation is a bit of an exception because a vast majority of these rooms are suites, so they're meant for larger families. These suites also come with larger price tags, so they're a bit of an outlier in the value resort category. Paying the increased price, though, for a family suite may make it possible for you to all stay in 1 room, which you just may generally prefer, or it may just be less expensive for you all to stay in 1 room than to book 2 separate standard rooms. Disney also lists the campsites at Fort Wilderness under the value category. This is another bit of an outlier in this value category. The campsites are literally that. You are camping. You can bring your RV and hook it up, or you can bring a tent and camp for real. Prices at the campsites are by far the least expensive because you are essentially providing your own roof over your head. All of the value resorts can definitely be a great option for you if you don't plan on spending much time in your room. The next category is moderate. Moderate resorts typically have more lush landscaping and slightly more of a grown-up feel. The colors are less vibrant, but it's definitely still Disney themed. For food, all of the moderate resorts except for Port Orleans French Quarter are going to have a table service restaurant as well as a quick serve or food court type option. Port Orleans French Quarter doesn't have its own table service restaurant, but it's a very short walk over to Port Orleans Riverside. The rooms are around 300 square feet, so slightly larger than a value resort, and a standard room with 2 beds is always going to be 2 queens. You won't have to worry about potentially being assigned a standard room with 2 doubles. They're all going to be 2 queens. Main pools at moderate resorts will have a water slide, but most moderate resort rooms still will open to an outside corridor. The one exception to this are the newly built Grandestino Tower rooms at Coronado Springs. And like value resorts, you still aren't going to have a proper closet. Transportation is going to be primarily by bus, and most moderate resorts are going to have several bus stops within the resort location. From the Port Orleans Resort, you can take a boat to Disney Springs, and the Caribbean Beach Resort is on the Disney Skyliner. If you're parking a car overnight, that's generally $20 per night. But at many of the resorts, you can park your car fairly close to your room, which is quite nice. Moderates are definitely a step up in the luxury feel from value resorts, but that's also reflected in the price. Deluxe resorts are very detailed in their theming and architecture. Deluxe resorts feature the kind of lobbies where you walk in and you're completely taken aback. Many rooms at deluxe resorts have balconies or patios. And room sizes vary greatly at the deluxe resorts, but you'll generally land around 340 to 440 square feet in a standard room. Many deluxe resorts offer something truly special. For example, at the Animal Kingdom, you can get a savannah-facing room, meaning when you wake up with your morning coffee, you could see giraffes outside your window. The pools are large and intricately themed, and they feature the biggest water slides on property. Deluxe resort rooms will open to an inside corridor, and you will have a proper closet in your room. Deluxe resorts have a mix of quick service and table service dining, and typically the table service includes one fairly upscale option. And deluxe resorts have a variety of transportation options. Some deluxe resorts are even close enough to theme parks where you can walk. And if you're parking a car overnight, currently that price is $24 per night. The feel and amenities offered in the villa category is extremely similar to that in the deluxe category. That's because many of these share properties. For example, the Contemporary Resort is a deluxe category resort, and there are also villa category rooms at this resort. Villa rooms are part of Disney Vacation Club. However, you do not have to be a Disney Vacation Club member to book a villa. Just like any other hotel room, you can book villas right on the Walt Disney World website by providing a credit card and paying cash. Villas have different room types, including studios, 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, and even grand villas, which are 3 bedrooms. Villas are meant to feel more like your home away from home. So 1 bedrooms and larger have a washer and dryer in the unit and a fully equipped kitchen. Villas are typically the most expensive category to book directly through Disney. However, you can consider renting Disney Vacation Club points instead to pay for your stay. I just did a video about the difference between a standard hotel stay and a Disney Vacation Club stay, so check that out for more information. Notably, renting points is almost always going to be cheaper than paying direct to Disney. And also, if you're staying on a points reservation, your parking fee is waived if you're going to bring a car overnight. The resort that you choose for your vacation will probably largely be dictated by your budget and also which park you want to be closest to. Note that Walt Disney World is simply massive, so there's no way to be close to everything. I hope you found this information helpful, and if you did, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Do you have a go-to resort when you're coming to Walt Disney World? Let folks know in the comments down below where you love to stay. See you real soon at Pixie Dust PhD.